The day before my wife became a billionaire, I filed for divorce. Her face darkened. Is there something wrong with your head? Yes, I am sick. Leaving you is the only way I'll get better. In truth, even my closest friends were shocked by this decision. I, Alan Turing, had stood by Ada Lovelace as she went from having nothing to becoming a winner with a fortune of over $100 million. Clearly, we were each other's first loves, clearly. We had a lovely daughter named Grace, clearly. The hard days were over, yet I chose to let go at this very moment. Alan, don't speak out of anger. Ada thought. I was just throwing a tantrum. Because yesterday, I went to the office to bring soup to Ada. She was sharing a bowl of dessert with Linus. She used the spoon he had used, the spoon touched by his saliva, taking bite after bite. Looking at their nonchalant expressions, I felt dizzy. Linus was one of the company's partners. In the past, I had protested to Ada about her being too close to Linus. But Ada said I was being jealous over nothing. She said Linus was family, a comrade in arms. Most importantly, she said he had a girlfriend and told me not to think nonsense. That's right. But that gold-digging girlfriend of his only ever appeared in Ada's stories. I walked in. Ada looked up at me for a moment, then continued discussing the project with Linus. Linus seemed a bit uncomfortable. He muttered, "Hey, Alan," and then fell silent. That wordless silence seemed to tell me that I shouldn't be there. I stared at the lonely thermos on the bookshelf. The soup I brought yesterday was still untouched. She hadn't even opened it. I grabbed the thermos and turned to leave the office, while the faint sound of Linus asking softly followed me. Ada, is Alan angry? Ignore him. I threw the thermos into the trash can. 12 years of memories flashed through my mind like a slow-motion film. My heart went from resentment, pain, and loss to a gradual, steady calm. After loving her for so long, I was exhausted. Once I cleared my head, my heart felt much lighter. And that was when I proposed the divorce to Ada. Just because of what you saw yesterday? I told you, the company didn't order enough afternoon tea, so I just shared a bowl with him. I smiled faintly. She clearly knew what I cared about, what made me angry, but she kept pretending she didn't. If I didn't speak up, she would never proactively explain or apologize to me. I shook my head. This was just the last straw. In this relationship, I was truly too exhausted. Come on, stop being mad, take this card and go buy something you like. Once I finish this project, I'll take you and our daughter Grace to Aspen for a vacation. She finished speaking, kissed my cheek, and left. She was always like that. Never truly listening to what I said. Thinking back, after being married to her for so long, I had always revolved around her. I hadn't lived a single day for myself. Before meeting Ada, I used to be a free and spirited person. I should go find my life's value again. I took out my phone and called Steve Wozniak. Steve, how's the project going? We won the bid. Good. The lawyer you mentioned last time, I'm going to set an appointment with him. You keep tracking the project for now. Once I finish the divorce proceedings with Ada, I'll return to the firm. 6 months ago, I met with Steve Wozniak and proposed opening a design studio. He said that thanks to me, he was becoming a boss. He is my best friend since graduation. He has been an outstanding figure in the industry. It would be more accurate to say I am the lucky one. I have been a stay-at-home dad for years. If I wanted to return to the workplace, I had to rely on him. But Ada makes so much money. Why do you need to open a studio? I was silent for a few seconds, then told him that we were divorcing. What? Steve slammed the table in anger. Is Ada even human? Now that she's rich, she wants to dump you? I'm going to find her and demand an explanation. I hurriedly pulled him back. No, I am the one who wants the divorce. Steve was more anxious than I was. Are you crazy? Why, did you two have a fight? Did she do something wrong to you? She is so wealthy now. If you divorce, aren't you just making the wedding dress for someone else to wear? It's not worth it. I'm tired. He wanted to say something more, But I interrupted. Enough, let's not talk about this now. Right now, I just want our startup to succeed. First, for the unfulfilled dreams of my youth. And second, I want to win custody of my daughter, Grace. The status of a stay-at-home dad is too disadvantageous for me in a divorce. Wozniak was someone who understood the situation and didn't pry further. He promised that we would both become independent, successful men. Wozniak was talented and had plenty of resources. Our firm, among the smaller ones, was standing its ground despite the difficulties. But to build a real reputation, we had to land bigger clients. The project we won this time belonged to a famous real estate developer in the city. I had leveraged my connection as Ada Lovelace's husband to win the bid, but by doing so, the fact that I was running a private firm on the outside was exposed. That night, Wozniak and I discussed the project until 2 a.m. The door suddenly swung open. It was Ada, and she reeked of alcohol. "You never told me you started a company." I hadn't mentioned the company to Ada. She went out early and returned late, since I decided to divorce her. We were like roommates who rarely saw each other. I no longer cared how late she stayed out, who she was with, or what she did. I poured all my energy into the firm. The joy and sense of self-worth I felt every time we secured a project was far greater than being a full-time stay-at-home dad. I stayed silent for a moment, feeling a bit defensive. I knew sooner or later she would find out. This industry is a small world. After all, that's right, it's Wozniak's company. I invested a little money. Since Grace is in school now, I found something to do. She nodded. Doing something is good, keeps you from overthinking useless things. She slowly leaned in, her chin rubbing against my neck. We had been together so long, she liked doing this whenever her desire flared up. But I didn't want to. I pushed her away. "I'm tired. You should get some rest too." Her hand, which was touching me, froze. Her expression soured. She sat up straight, remaining silent for a long time before speaking. "Alan, there's something I need to discuss with you." I took a deep breath, thinking she wanted to talk about the divorce. "That project. Can your side withdraw from it?" I looked up at her, not yet realizing what she was saying. "I mean the project your side just won. Can you drop the bid? Give up that slot. I will directly compensate you for the losses this time." "Give it up to whom? And why would you compensate the loss?" I caught her words very quickly. "Linus's uncle. I promised him that the design portion of this project would be given to his uncle's company." Who would have guessed that Tierra Design Studio would appear out of nowhere? I asked the general manager at the real estate firm. "It was you who showed up." The project was won by Tierra Design Studio. Originally, I thought I'd have to pull some strings, but who knew it was family? That makes it much easier to talk about. She put her arms around me. "How about this? I'll compensate your side double for the loss." Linus's uncle's side has already been told, breaking a promise to them certainly wouldn't look good. "Later, I'll give your side much bigger projects." "Okay?" I coldly brushed her hand off. "I told you, I invested money in that company. Consider it my company too. And you want me to hand the bid over to Linus? Breaking a promise to them isn't good. But breaking a promise to your own husband is fine? Alan, why are you being so unreasonable? I promised to compensate you double. You're just running a company to make a little pocket money. Why do you need to?" "Ada, I am seeing this project through to the end. You are an entrepreneur who built yourself up. You know how much a major project means to a newly founded company. No matter how much money you pay, it's not worth as much as a living reputation. Furthermore, you have no right to force me to give it up. All my procedures were legal and valid. Furthermore, I will not, and cannot, turn a company project into a favor for you to please someone else. If you want to please him, fine, wait until we are divorced. Then you can gift him the whole company for all I care." Everything was fine. Why are you bringing up divorce again? Ada frustratedly gripped her hair. "I told you he and I are nothing. You're becoming more and more irrational." I laughed coldly. "I'm the irrational one? Please leave. I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight." Ada stared at me for a long time, then stormed off with a dark face. I thought Ada would at least show me some respect. But I didn't expect the real estate firm to directly transfer the contract breach penalty into the company account. What was more ironic was that, in less than 2 minutes, 2 other companies actively reached out wanting to collaborate with us. Alan, should we take them? Take them, why wouldn't we? Only a fool turns down money. I understand. This law of the jungle. I only regret that I am not strong enough. I calmed myself, nonchalantly accepting this favor from Ada. I needed money. The money belonged to me. I would no longer calculate who she favored. This incident, like countless others before, would vanish like smoke. But perhaps because of my submissive appearance, someone couldn't restrain themselves and burst straight into the house. Linus held up a key in his hand. Ada told me to come get a folder. My hand paused. I ignored him and continued drawing. But once he got the folder, he had no intention of leaving. Alan, I have to say, you're the luckiest man. Ada not only has to support you but also has to support that crowd at your company. Unlike Ada and me, who have to risk our lives to build an empire. Exhausted. Every single day. I turned my head to look at him. Being exhausted is your business. I am her husband. If she doesn't support me, who should she support? I cut him off, but he smirked back. Actually, I didn't necessarily need that project. I just mentioned it a few times, and Ada snatched it from your hands and gave it to me. Tell me, in her heart, who carries more weight? My fingers turned white, but I didn't reply. All these years, he had always tested the boundaries between me and Ada, from the time Ada gave birth to Grace, and he naturally sat in the back seat with Ada while I drove her home from the hospital. To now, having a key to my house. I knew the person who indulged him was Ada. He didn't wait for my answer. He gave a loud laugh and left. After that day, the projects Ada had slated for us were cancelled one after another. I knew that the title of Vice President of Lovelace Corp was certainly more useful than my status as a powerless husband. This wasn't the first time she had played dirty, and Ada didn't say a word about it. I didn't want to ask. She had no obligation to give me projects. Besides, this might just be a necessary step she took to please her dream man. I rushed to develop the company. Naturally, I didn't plan to rely on Ada forever. Counting the time, Mark Zuckerberg should have an answer by now. Mark Zuckerberg was an old rival of Ada's. When I sought him out, Mark's eyes were full of mockery. He was a famous nightclub prince, rumored to only love but never marry. Because of this image, he was always suppressed by Lovelace Corp. After all, Ada and I went from school to marriage. We were the living symbols of the company. A good corporate image was naturally valued higher. I wonder what game you and Ada are playing, Alan? You didn't go to Ada for business, you went to her rival? I'm about to no longer be her husband. Giving you this news in advance means I want to partner with you. I handed him the business plan. I had no power, but I had enough sincerity. The project price was set at the lowest, and the business scope was made the largest. Mark Zuckerberg didn't lack money. Tierra Studio wasn't truly at that level yet. I was just gambling on his resentment. After being suppressed by Ada for so many years, gambling that he was willing to take the high ground and watch this great drama unfold. Ha ha ha, interesting. You've set the price so low, Alan. Full of sincerity, it's just that I, Mark Zuckerberg, don't lack money. I was a bit anxious, Mr. Zuckerberg. This is the absolute limit of what I can do. But adding the card of your divorce into the mix makes it worth it. My eyes lit up. Mr. Zuckerberg. You mean? Alan, don't regret this later. Mark Zuckerberg is a cunning merchant, was how Ada Lovelace used to describe him. But at that moment, I only saw him as childish. Little did I know that later on, he would exploit the news of our divorce, causing Lovelace Corp to lose tens of millions of dollars. But that is a story for another time. Mark Zuckerberg was very aggressive. The resources he gave me were all heavy hitters. Within the same day, I secured a Tier 1 project for the city. Before I could even celebrate, Ada was furious, rarely returning home early. Today, why did you partner with Mark Zuckerberg? Do you know that project was supposed to be ours? If you wanted a project, I could have given it to you. What is the meaning of conspiring with him? Do you know what he said to me today? He said my husband is of one mind with him. What are you letting the company and outsiders think? Ada, speak a bit more politely. I'm doing business fairly, so what? Is there a problem? Ada suppressed her rage. Fine. Then tell me why. You partnered with Mark Zuckerberg? The price was okay. The quality was okay. Both sides were satisfied, so we cooperated. Is there a problem with that? Weren't the projects I gave you enough? Was it necessary to go do business with him? How much money does your company even make? A random project of mine is enough to equal what you make in a year. You're intentionally trying to spite me, aren't you? I laughed coldly. No matter how small a project is, it's mine. This project is in my hands, and no one can take it away. Mark Zuckerberg certainly won't strip away what is mine without reason. You're bringing up old stories again. In the end, are you still angry about last time? Ada, don't open your mouth to talk about compensation. That thing was supposed to be mine, it was just stolen by you. Before, you took it upon yourself to transfer the project to Linus Torvalds. Now you want to interfere with Mark Zuckerberg's affairs too? You see, now you know that what is in your own hands is what matters most, right? Furthermore, I pulled the pre-signed divorce agreement out of my briefcase. I've signed it. Soon, I will no longer be your husband. I suppose I won't need to be responsible for your company's image anymore. Our daughter Grace, whom you haven't cared for a single day, will belong to me, and the real estate under our names will be split in half. I don't need Lovelace Corp, and I assume you wouldn't crave my tiny Tierra studio anyway. Would you? Her face grew even darker as she looked at the divorce agreement. In disbelief. You want a divorce? That's right. Is there something wrong with your head? Yes, I am sick. Leaving you is the only way I'll get better. She darkened her expression. I don't agree. Then wait for me to file a lawsuit. I threw that sentence back in. Slammed the door. Perhaps it was the signed divorce agreement that made Ada realize I wasn't joking this time. Or perhaps it was because this time I was no longer proactively yielding or trying to please her. 3 days later, she finally softened her voice to coax me. With a hint of flattery in her words, Alan, haven't you always said you wanted me to spend more time with you and Grace? I've rearranged everything. Let's go to Las Vegas for a few days to relax. No project is important anymore, it's just making a little less money. If you want to open a company, open it. I won't interfere. Okay? I stared at her. No. Ada, you know. I mean it. She seemed a bit hysterical. Why? I truly cannot understand. We clearly have so many things. I can give you whatever you want. Just because of these small things. You want a divorce? I was silent. Divorce. The fact that you can say those words proves you have never understood me. To me, these are not small things. Fine. Alright, it's all my fault, okay? However you want me to change, I will change everything, okay? Just don't mention the divorce anymore. I shook my head. In these next few days, I will take Grace and move out. Sign the papers quickly. Seeing that I wouldn't budge for soft or hard words, she was so angry she crumpled the divorce agreement. I won't sign. I have never thought about divorcing you. Absolutely no signing. The result this time was naturally not a happy one. But since that day, Ada seemed to turn into a different person. Every day she came to my company to send food and gifts. Or proactively called to ask if I wanted to have lunch or if I wanted to take Grace out to play. Our roles were completely reversed. Seeing this, my colleagues all said Ada was a rarely good woman in this world, but outsiders didn't know we were about to divorce. Wozniak knew. He whispered to me, "What's going on with you two? Made up again?" I tossed those food items aside. Have you heard this saying? What saying? Late-coming affection is cheaper than trash. Then what about this? Wozniak pointed toward the distant sky. I looked at the hot air balloon floating there, which clearly had several large words on it. Alan, my beloved husband, happy 10th wedding anniversary. My gaze was cold to the bone. A scene like this, in the past, I wouldn't have dared to even dream of it. Years ago, before Ada and I were married, I saw a couple successfully propose on the street and felt a wave of admiration. I asked Ada, "When we get married, I want to organize a grand and romantic proposal for you." What girl doesn't want to be cherished? It doesn't matter if there's no money, what Ada wants is your heart. Tell me, do you think I'll be moved to tears then? She smiled and said, "I will definitely give you a romantic proposal." But until our wedding day, I decorated the venue myself to propose to her, and she just said, "We're an old couple now, there's no need for these flowery, showy tricks, it's embarrassing." Later, after we married and during the early days of starting the business, she was so busy she forgot my birthday and our wedding anniversary. Before I could even speak properly to her, she said, "This is a critical stage, can you stop bothering me with more worries?" So I had to swallow everything and commit to being the good husband standing behind her. Then Grace was born, and the company got on track. She was busy all day, ignoring Grace, never fulfilling her responsibilities as a mother for a single day. She said she loved Grace, but she never had time to be with us. During that time, I was extremely exhausted. Ironically, Linus always came between us. The soup I brought ended up in Linus's stomach. When she took me and Grace out, Linus naturally sat in the passenger seat without moving. She only said one thing, "Since you're looking after the kid anyway, you can only sit in the back." When she was cold, he would help her put on a coat. When she was tired, he would help share her burdens. I once reached out to ask about the company, wanting to be her listener, but she only said, "Even if I told you, you wouldn't understand." There were too many similar incidents. Every day I doubted myself. This severe self-depletion made me no longer feel like a normal person. On every special occasion, I reminded her, but she still forgot. So I started telling her directly. My birthday is coming up. Our wedding anniversary is coming up. Waiting for her, even if it was just a perfect lie, would have shown some heart. But the result was always the same, only receiving the line, "I forgot. Next time. Can you stop always obsessing over these small things?" Everything she said before, she had forgotten. She forgot not just these small things, she forgot us. Since I was young, I never liked Ada being intimate with other men, but she indulged Linus. From the office to our personal lives, he was everywhere. She always said Linus was family, telling me not to define them by gender. But I ask you, does pure friendship really exist between men and women? I don't believe it. Regardless, during the years I desperately needed her. That is how she acted. I didn't expect that before the divorce, I would actually receive a wedding anniversary gift from Ada. I truly didn't expect it. This action of hers caused both of us to hit the top of the search trends. Lovelace Corp. Stocks also skyrocketed. Wozniak opened the breaking news for me to see. The powerful female CEO spends $100 million to express her love for her husband. The Lovelace Corp. Power couple makes me believe in love again. She certainly knows how to create news, building an image of a devoted lover, reaping the profits, and wanting to use public opinion to pressure me. She truly is a businessperson. Ding dong, my phone suddenly received a message. "Alan, I'm waiting for you at home." It was Ada. I hesitated for a few seconds and then agreed. It was for the best. I'd take this chance to make everything clear once and for all today. But who would have guessed that as soon as I stepped through the door, I saw Linus wearing my pajamas, holding Ada tightly. I felt a wave of nausea and couldn't help but step back. But from behind me came a sudden scream. It was Grace. Her face was filled with terror as she stood next to the nanny. I hurriedly covered Grace's eyes and turned to the nanny, saying, "Didn't I tell you to take her over there?" The nanny looked aggrieved. "Sir, I received a call from Ms. Lovelace saying we were celebrating the family's anniversary. And she told me to bring Grace back." Who would have thought? "Alan, Grace, it's not what it looks like," Ada hurriedly explained to me. "Linus came to return the house key. Then his clothes got wet, so I told him to change into yours." I looked deep into her eyes, picked Grace up, and turned to walk away. Returning to where we stayed, Grace asked me with red eyes, "Daddy, does Mommy not want us anymore? Why was Uncle Linus hugging Mommy?" A 6-year-old child understands things earlier than we think. But there are things that if I said them now, she wouldn't understand. Thousands of words choked in my throat. My biggest fear was hurting her. If I could, I wanted to give her all the best things in this world. Grace, no matter what, Mommy and Daddy love you the most. Are you and Mommy getting a divorce? I hugged her. We will love you in a different way. The next day, before the sun had fully risen, Ada was standing at my door waiting. Alan, it's a misunderstanding. I shushed her. Grace is still sleeping. I gave the nanny some instructions and stepped outside with her. Alan, you have to believe me. It's a misunderstanding. I nonchalantly interrupted her. I know. You knew very well that you invited me that day. And you specifically called the nanny to bring Grace home. You love Grace so much, you wouldn't go as far as letting her see those things right now. Ada finally breathed a sigh of relief, her face showing a hint of joy. You still understand me. It was just a misunderstanding. He came to return the key, spilled some water, and then Finally, I couldn't listen any longer. Ada, do you really not see through this clumsy act? Or are you enjoying the feeling of being pursued by two men? Ada panicked. I certainly am not. If you didn't give him the key, would he have appeared in our house? Ada, I'm starting to not understand you anymore. You are the one who gave him the opportunity to come between us. And now what are you denying? The house key, the passenger seat, sharing a bowl of soup, being intimate as if no one else was there, his arrogant attitude in front of me. Ada, aren't these things clear in your heart? She still tried to explain, but Alan, I have never done anything to betray you. I found it laughable. Let me ask you instead. Ada, do you really think Linus is the only problem between us? From falling in love to marriage, every time I needed you, where were you? This year's anniversary, it's only because I filed for divorce that you remembered. Isn't it? Do you really think all I care about is this ceremony? Alan, are those things really that important? I swear, I only love you. It's just that I've been too busy lately and neglected your feelings. From now on, I will change. I'll change until you are satisfied. Okay? Ada, there's no need anymore. No one is going to stand still and wait for you. What about Grace? A spark suddenly flashed in her eyes as she looked straight at me. If you truly want a divorce, I will not give up custody of Grace. She is my daughter too. Ada, do you have no shame? Have you cared for Grace for even a single day? On what grounds do you think you can fight me for custody? She stared at me stubbornly. I have more money than you. I am very likely to win custody of Grace. If you divorce me, you will never see Grace again. I couldn't help but raise my hand and slap her. Ada, I didn't think you could be this filthy, daring to use our child to threaten me. She stood there dazed. I didn't mean. Ada, I will not be afraid of you. That photo of you hugging Linus yesterday, it could be real. Or it could be fake. If you want to go to court, I am willing to face you anytime. Even if I lose everything, I will fight you to the end. She was silent for a long time. Give me a little time. I hope I can get the news I want. A few days later, I received a message from Ada. The next time we met, both of our lawyers were present. There was no bloody battle over assets between us. The real estate under both our names was split in half. Neither side had any disputes. My company remained mine. On the contrary, regarding Lovelace Corp., Ada wanted to give me 10% of the shares and transfer 40% to Grace. I frowned, slightly disagreeing. I already said I don't need the shares. You don't have to give them to me. But she was very stubborn. This is my compensation to you. It's not that much. As for Grace's portion, I originally intended to wait until she was older to give it to her. Giving it now or later makes no difference. I thought about it for a moment, then agreed. Seeing my consent, she hurriedly added, but Alan, the fact that I'm signing today doesn't mean I actually want to divorce you. I respect your opinion, and I will show you how I've changed. Sooner or later, I will pull you back to me. I knit my brows, just about to speak. Don't reject me blindly. You have your views, and I have mine. Also, can we keep our divorce a secret? Firstly, because Grace is so young, I'm afraid she'll be hurt. Secondly, Lovelace Corp. has just gone public, announcing this might negatively affect the company. She had a point. Grace was too small, and I didn't want her to know too soon. As for the company, it was enough that only the two of us knew. I nodded in agreement. Fine, no problem. She spoke up quickly again. Then please don't take Grace in. Move out, otherwise, she'll realize something is wrong. No, We're divorced. What would be the point of living together? Her face looked somewhat sorrowful. Then, I will move to the apartment. On the floor directly below. The proximity is close, and it won't attract attention. Fine. After completing the divorce procedures, I quickly moved out. Life after divorce was truly blissful. In the past, after coaxing Grace to sleep, I'd be busy preparing food for Ada. We had a nanny, but she wasn't used to eating food cooked by others and was extremely picky about flavors. If it was too cold or reheated, she'd think the taste was off, and I had fed that mouth of hers for 10 long years. Now that I'd moved out, I had so much free time. I secretly cursed myself for being so enchanted all those years, happily revolving around her. Luckily, I woke up in time. It wasn't too late. Since securing that Tier 1 project, our company gradually got on track. In less than 6 months, Tierra Studio was moving like a hot knife through butter, penetrating the inner circles of top-tier firms. I enrolled in a foreign language class, preparing to take the graduate exams for art and design in the UK. Previously, Mark Zuckerberg had casually mentioned an overseas project, and I was very intrigued, but my academic background and experience weren't enough to achieve success in the arts. Later on, I had to pursue further specialized studies. When I was in love with Ada, I wanted to go to grad school, but our economic conditions didn't allow it. Later, when things improved, she became pregnant and gave birth. I was entirely focused on Ada and the family. Afterward, watching others pursue their dreams, I always admired them in silence, feeling that I was no longer young. How could I just up and leave? Every time I felt inspired, fear was born, and I hesitated. After the divorce, I felt reborn, constantly feeling that I should try everything. A person only lives once, shouldn't they live for themselves? As long as you take action, it's never too late. Studying again was actually very hard. Modern designers, from ancient times to the present, there was truly too much to cover. A brain unused for years made learning very strenuous, but deep inside me was a yearning. No matter how difficult it was, I found joy in it. I practiced self-discipline, being stricter with myself in both life and career. Wozniak often looked at me and said, "Truly, marriage is a grave. Look at you. Leaving that grave is like being resurrected." That's right. Once a person finds themselves again, they no longer waste away emotionally. When I received my acceptance letter from the UK, I specifically showed it to Mark Zuckerberg. "Mr. Zuckerberg, I'll be in the UK for 2 years. I believe that after 2 years, my value will increase. You can rest assured. Handing future international projects to us. Well now, you've been quietly doing big things." Mark looked at my acceptance letter. "Tell me, how did Ada raise you before? Like a coward? Look at you now. There's not a trace of the person who first came to find me." I was immersed in joy. After getting to know him better, I knew he couldn't stand being suppressed by Ada and was used to his blunt way of speaking, but I didn't realize he was looking at me with a different light in his eyes. He narrowed his eyes and leaned in close. "Alan, I never realized you were this handsome. Tell me, if you came with me, would Ada die of anger?" I immediately turned serious. "Mr. Zuckerberg, we can talk business, but talking about romance is absolutely out of the question. I'm just joking with you. I, Mark Zuckerberg, am not incapable of finding a handsome guy like you. Just go. Don't forget my plan." My face was covered in dark lines, not knowing what the plan he mentioned had to do with me, but I kept nodding anyway. I didn't expect that this person would directly tell Ada about my plan to study abroad. So, Ada came rushing to me. "You want to go? Why didn't you discuss it with me?" I was packing my things. "We're divorced. Why would I discuss it with you?" She opened her mouth, silenced by my retort, not knowing what to say. "What about Grace? Are you planning to take Grace away too? Then while you're studying, who will care for Grace?" "No, I'm not comfortable with this, and you being all alone abroad, I'm not comfortable with that either." I looked up at her. "Ada, setting aside the fact that we're divorced, let's talk about being uncomfortable. Do you know how much Effort I put into passing those exams? But because you're uncomfortable, you want to use the name of love to bind me here? Her voice suddenly stopped. After a long moment, I sighed. I thought you would congratulate me. Be happy for me. You don't need to worry about Grace. I've already contacted a nursery there and hired a nanny. Grace will be just fine, outside of school hours. I can take good care of her. Taking her with me this time is also because I want her to experience a different environment. This will be very beneficial for her perspective later on. She lowered her head, not knowing what she was thinking. Then I'll tell my secretary to open a card for you. No need. Did you forget? When we divorced, you gave me a lot of money. I also have the company. I can live very well over there. I didn't want to see her hurt expression. If there's nothing else, please leave. I have a lot to arrange. She froze for a moment, leaving only the sight of her back. During this time, Ada frequently found excuses to appear by my side. As she said, she was trying to make up for the time she was absent from me and Grace over the years. Every time she saw a different version of me, different sparks appeared in her eyes. She became increasingly obsessed with reconciling with me. She asked me out more often. When I wouldn't meet her, she used Grace's name as an excuse to be near me. This trip abroad was, fortunately, a time for us to separate. I also hoped she could calm down for a while and think about what she truly wanted. A month passed very quickly. I finalized everything and took Grace to the UK. The thick Western culture, the music, football, British dramas, art festivals, kept me endlessly fascinated. But the reality of a busy study schedule quickly brought me back to my senses. The company affairs back home were mostly handled by Wozniak. Unless there was an emergency, he usually didn't call, but I received a call from Wozniak in the middle of the night. Alan, something happened. I had just fallen into a deep sleep and sat up with a start. What is it? Did something happen at the company? Did Mark Zuckerberg cancel the contract? No, it's Ada, your ex-wife. I, with dark panda circles under my eyes, tried to listen to Wozniak talk for nearly 2 hours. I gathered that someone had leaked information to reporters, exposing my divorce from Ada Lovelace. This, in itself, was nothing, but someone, I didn't know who, had released photos of Ada and Linus Torvalds flirting at the office. Among them were photos of them hugging, sharing a bowl of soup, Linus going in and out of her house, and an anonymous whistleblower claiming Linus acted like the man of the house at the office. And so on. Ha ha ha, I'm overjoyed. That stupid man deserves it today. I had been up all night writing my thesis. My eyes were ready to snap shut. Steve, has anyone told you that there is an 8-hour time difference between here and back home? Damn it, I forgot. I was so happy I forgot you were resting. You go to sleep. I'll wait for you when you wake up. The phone went beep beep as he hung up. I drifted off to sleep clutching my phone. But I didn't know a storm was brewing back home. By the time I woke up and peacefully submitted my thesis, I discovered that Lovelace Corp. stock had plummeted to its lowest level. Online, people were ruthlessly cursing Ada and Linus as an unfaithful pair. Some even said her husband and child had been driven out of the country because Linus couldn't tolerate them. Consequently, the most hated person was Linus. His personal information was doxed, and it was revealed that he was maintaining a physical relationship with an ex-girlfriend while having an illicit affair with Ada at the office. I frowned while reading through the news and called Mr. Zuckerberg. That's enough. It turned out the plan he mentioned before I went abroad was this. From the other end of the line came a few light chuckles. Alan, you are as sharp as ever. What, aren't you satisfied too? Mr. Zuckerberg, Ada and I are in the past. Now that Lovelace Corp. stock has dropped like this, it's a loss of at least tens of millions of dollars. You've had your revenge, please. Show some mercy now. Alan, you are truly no fun. He hung up. I then hurriedly called Ada. On the other end, her voice sounded exhausted. I will issue a statement to help you clear things up. Thank you, Alan. This was a mistake she made in her battle with Mark Zuckerberg, naturally. She should be the one to solve it. The incident gradually settled with my statement. Ms. Lovelace and I divorced a year ago. Although our marriage could not be saved, we parted on peaceful terms. There was no third party involved as claimed online. Ms. Lovelace provided a very generous settlement, which allowed me to take our child abroad for my master's degree. I hope everyone will stop believing in rumors. After this, I will not respond to anything further. Thank you. Even though Ada and Linus didn't clarify their relationship, there was indeed no physical affair between them. Ada's PR department quickly relied on my statement to clear everything up. I only heard from Wozniak that Linus had been dismissed from his position as vice president and completely sidelined. I didn't bother with their business and continued my own career. On the day my 2-year term ended, I suddenly appeared at the International Trade Expo organized by the city. Wearing a high-end suit, I spoke fluently as a famous designer and Professor Austin, successfully winning the International Exhibition project. Mark Zuckerberg looked at me with praise. Congratulations on returning as a master of your craft. I flashed a confident smile. 2 years of fighting were all for today. Ada stood in the distance looking at me, appearing a bit lost. I nodded and smiled at her, but in the end, she didn't come over to talk to me. In the restroom. This playing hard to get move of yours is quite well played. Ada now only has eyes for you. Linus appeared behind me, his eyes were glazed over, no longer possessing the free-spirited confidence of years past. Playing hard to get? I laughed out loud. Are you still calculating Ada's love? Linus, it seems I overestimated you. If you hadn't withdrawn back then, it would have only been a matter of time before she loved me. He looked at me with resentment. Do you think she loves you? Or do you think a woman's love is worth that much? Look at yourself now, falling from grace to this extent all for a woman. He spoke incoherently. Don't think that just because you are like this now, you can act smug in front of me. Aren't you also relying on Mark Zuckerberg? Who knows what goes on between you two behind the scenes? I raised my hand and punched him. The one thing you shouldn't do is use your filthy heart to judge others. He was shocked. You? I am very happy that after all these years, you are still standing. Still. Linus. Continue to keep that lovesick head of yours. I will take it as an example. Goodbye. I turned and walked away. I don't know if he could understand. In truth, the prerequisite for loving others is to love yourself. If you wait until love dies, only hatred remains.